The factory air clung to Lila's skin like a second layer: grease, sweat, and the acrid bite of chemicals that never quite washed out. At 19, her hands were already mapped with fine cracks, the knuckles reddened from hours scrubbing conveyor belts that never stopped moving. The dress they'd given her for tonight, stiff, synthetic satin, itched at her collarbones, but the discomfort barely registered. Not when the envelope in her pocket held her father's hospital bill, the numbers circled in angry red ink. The gala was a cathedral of excess. Crystal chandeliers dripped light onto marble floors so polished Lila could see her own hollow-eyed reflection as she was paraded past champagne flutes and cigar smoke. The women here wore diamonds like armor. She wore the scent of bleach and the too sweet perfume some maid had sprayed on her wrists. Asterisk, this one's unspoiled. Asterisk, the coordinator murmured to the man in the tailored tuxedo, as if Lila weren't standing right there. Malcolm Rutherford III was 72, his wealth woven into the city's skyline. His fingers, when they gripped her chin to tilt her face toward the light, were cold. The platinum watch on his wrist probably cost more than her family's rent for a decade. Asterisk, eyes are good, asterisk, he said, thumb brushing the scar above her eyebrow, a childhood fall she couldn't afford stitches for. Asterisk, you'll want to fix the teeth, of course. Asterisk. Lila's stomach lurched. She'd known what this was. The Rutherford Foundation's asterisk sponsorship program asterisk was whispered about in the factory break room. Poor girls traded for tuition, for green cards, for debts wiped clean. But the reality of his breath, mint, and expensive whiskey made her toes curl inside the borrowed heels. Across the room, her father sat slumped in a chair someone had dragged near the dessert table. The morphine made him slow, but his hands shook as he counted the stack of hundreds they'd given him up front. When he met her eyes, a tear cut through the stubble on his cheek. Asterisk, sign here, asterisk, the coordinator said, sliding a contract across the table. The pen was heavier than she expected, gold-plated. Lila hesitated. Malcolm's sigh was barely audible as he reached into his jacket. Another stack of bills joined the first. The pen scratched loud in the sudden silence. Somewhere, a string quartet began to play. The mansion's entrance hall swallowed Lila whole, its vaulted ceilings dripping with Murano glass chandeliers, the floors so polished she could see the ghostly outline of her reflection trailing behind her like a second shadow. Malcolm had called it asterisk home asterisk during the car ride over, but the word curdled in her throat when the butler handed her a leather-bound manual titled asterisk Household Protocols. Asterisk. Asterisk, page 12 outlines your attire requirements, asterisk, the butler said, his voice as warm as the marble underfoot. Asterisk, Mr. Rutherford prefers pastels before noon. Asterisk. Her new bedroom was larger than her family's entire apartment, its bay window overlooking a rose garden trimmed with military precision. The walk-in closet smelled of lavender sachets and something faintly antiseptic. Inside, every garment bore a tiny gold tag with the date and occasion she was permitted to wear it. Asterisk, you'll take breakfast at 7:30, asterisk, the housekeeper informed her, laying out a peignoir so delicate Lila feared it might dissolve in her hands. Asterisk, Mr. Rutherford dislikes tardiness. Asterisk. The first morning, she learned the price of rebellion. She'd worn her old factory sweatshirt to breakfast, a silent act of defiance. Malcolm didn't look up from his Financial Times as he rang a silver bell. 2 staff members materialized, their grip firm as they escorted her back upstairs. They didn't speak as they dressed her in the required lilac sundress, their hands impersonal as surgeons. Asterisk, you'll find obedience more comfortable, asterisk, Malcolm remarked over poached eggs, dabbing his lips with a linen napkin. His smile didn't reach his eyes. By week 3, the mansion's rhythms had carved grooves into her bones. Mornings began with a nutritionist shaking supplements into her palm. Evenings ended with a maid collecting her phone for asterisk security updates. Asterisk, the only unpoliced space was the library, its towering shelves lined with first editions no one ever read. It was there, running her fingers along a leather-bound copy of asterisk Jane Eyre asterisk, that she found the key. Small and brass, it had fallen behind the bookshelf. When she knelt to retrieve it, her knees met uneven floorboards, one slightly raised, as if pried up repeatedly. Heart-hammering, she wedged her nails beneath it. The hollow beneath held a single Polaroid. A girl, maybe 18, stared up at her. Same pastel dress. Same hollowed cheeks. Written in smudged red ink along the border. *A Valencia, returned 0912. *. A floorboard creaked in the hallway. Lila barely had time to shove the photo down her bodice before the butler appeared in the doorway. Mr. Rutherford requests your presence in the West Wing, he said, his gaze lingering on her trembling hands. His, impatient tonight. The West Wing door clicked shut behind her with the finality of a tomb ceiling. Malcolm's study reeked of cigar smoke and something medicinal, sharp and cloying, like alcohol-soaked bandages. He stood by the fireplace, swirling amber liquid in a crystal glass, his shadow stretching grotesquely across the Persian rug. You're late, he said, not turning around. Lila's fingers crept to the Polaroid hidden in her bra. *A Valencia. The girl's name thrummed in her temples like a second pulse. Sit. He gestured to a velvet chaise. We need to discuss your curiosity. Her knees locked. The way his gaze lingered on the library's general direction sent ice through her veins. A silver tray sat on the side table. Syringe. Tourniquet. Vial of cloudy liquid. Vitamin boost, Malcolm said smoothly, catching her stare. The doctor insists. You've been looking pale. The lie slithered between them. Lila's mouth went dry. She'd seen that vial before, in the factory's restricted storage, labeled animal sedative. 500 milligrams per milliliter lethal dose. I'm feeling better, she whispered, edging toward the door. Malcolm's chuckle was a dry rasp. We both know that's not true. His hand shot out, gripping her wrist hard enough to bruise. The glass shattered as he yanked her forward, liquor soaking into her skirt. Up close, his pupils were dilated, his breath sour with decay. You think you're the first to dig up my secrets. He pressed the syringe to her throat. Valencia screamed so prettily when, The fire poker was heavier than she expected. It connected with his temple in a wet crack. He staggered, syringe skittering across the floor. Lila didn't wait to see him fall. She ran, bare feet slipping on marble, thorns tearing at her ankles as she crashed through the rose garden. The gate was locked. Behind her, the mansion's lights flickered on one by one. A guttural shout echoed through the hedges. She scaled the wrought iron fence, metal biting into her palms, and tumbled onto the asphalt just as headlights crested the driveway. A rusty pickup screeched to a halt. The driver, a woman with faded tattoos and hollow cheeks, leaned out. Get in if you want to live, she hissed. As the truck peeled away, Lila finally looked back. Malcolm stood silhouetted in the mansion's doorway, his forehead gleaming black with blood, one hand clutching the discarded Polaroid. The pickup truck reeked of gasoline and menthol cigarettes, the vinyl seat sticky against Lila's torn skin. Her rescuer, Anna she'd growled when asked, kept glancing in the rearview mirror, her knuckles white on the steering wheel. The faded tattoo on her wrist matched the branding on cattle at Malcolm's meatpacking plants. You're lucky I patrol that road, Anna muttered, swerving onto a dirt path. He usually has the cops paid off by now. Lila clutched the Polaroid tighter. *A Valencia. The dates aligned. Anna must have been one of them. One of the returned star. The safe house was a trailer buried in kudzu vines, its aluminum walls vibrating with each passing freight train. Inside, newspaper clippings papered every surface. Rutherford heiress disappears. 19-year-old maid found floating in river. Anna yanked open a rusted filing cabinet, pulling out a manila envelope. Recognize these. The photos spilled across the table like a grotesque deck of cards. Dozens of girls in pastel dresses. Lila's own face stared back from the most recent, a surveillance shot taken at the gala. He calls us his investment portfolio Anna spat. Rich men pay six figures for obedient wives who disappear after the prenup kicks in. A key turned in the trailer's flimsy lock. Both women froze as the door creaked open. Not Malcolm, but his butler, pristine gloves now speckled with blood. The syringe glinted in his hand. Asterisk Miss Valencia. Asterisk he sighed. Asterisk Mr. Rutherford did so hate when his assets conspired. Asterisk. Lila moved first. The fire extinguisher hit his temple with a metallic asterisk clang star. As he crumpled, Anna was already moving, rifling through his pockets. She tossed Lila a burner phone, her eyes wild. Asterisk call the number labeled asterisk morgue asterisk, ask for Detective Ruiz. Asterisk. Static crackled through the receiver. A weary voice answered on the fourth ring. Asterisk another one, Anna. Asterisk. Lila's voice shook as she recited Malcolm's address, the secret ledger Anna had stolen, the Polaroid still clutched in her fist. Sirens wailed in the distance. Asterisk asterisk epilogue. 3 months later asterisk asterisk. The evidence room smelled of gun oil and stale coffee. Detective Ruiz tapped the glass case where Malcolm's platinum wedding bands gleamed under fluorescent lights. Asterisk plead guilty to avoid death row, asterisk he said. Asterisk his lawyers are already negotiating with the DA. Asterisk. Lila stared at the rings. The same ones that had glinted as Malcolm promised her father asterisk only the best care. Asterisk outside, rain sheeted against the courthouse windows. Anna waited by the exit, her scars still pink from the burns. She didn't speak as Lila pressed the Polaroid into Ruiz's hand. Asterisk make sure they say their names, asterisk Lila whispered. Asterisk all of them. Asterisk. The door clicked shut behind her. Somewhere, a train whistled, low and mournful, like a woman finally learning to breathe.